Alright guys, this video is about fire starters. I'm looking for a fire starter that can easily ignite in rainy conditions. So I went on Amazon and I bought the Sasquatch fire starter, the Blackbeard Firestarter, and the Fast Fire Stick. Alright, I'm going to open all three and see which one is the one I'm looking for. Okay, like I said, I want something that's going to be able to start in wet conditions. Something that's going to, you know, make it easy for me to start a fire in wet conditions. Alright, whether it's a survival situation or, you know, you're hiking and you get lost, which is a survival situation too. You don't want to be messing around and trying to make little shavings when it's wet. You just want to have that out of the way. You want to get the fire lit as quickly as possible. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright guys, this is how I received them. The Fast Fire Stick came in a box. With some padding on the inside, or paper. Alright. Also a card. Another card. Okay. And it came with two. Came with two of them. Alright. The next one, the Sasquatch, just came in an Amazon bag. Okay. And the Blackbeard came in this bag right here. And it came with a card. Alright. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, for my test, I'm going to be using a ferro rod. Okay. And I'm going to be using a knife I bought a few years ago. They don't make them anymore, but they still make knives. I believe it's Self-Reliance Outfitters by Dave Canterbury. Alright, this is the knife. They don't make this one anymore, but if you go on their site, they have newer knives that that they just released. So this is the one I'm going to be using. Alright, let's try the Fast Fire Stick. Okay, all of these fire starters, they claim that they are waterproof, windproof. This one, they didn't say what type of wax, but it's wax infused. Okay, and they say you could just cut right through it. And this is also flammable, so you could use the paper and also the material they're using inside. So let's cut off a little piece. Let's cut off a little bit bigger piece. Okay. Now let's just see if it lights, just without me actually tearing the fibers apart. Okay, there you go. All right. Burn time, it looks like you have a lot of flame there. And it seems to be burning for quite a while. That's pretty good, honestly. All right. And I've used about this much. And it's still burning. Alright, let's cut this off. This is really burning for a while, so let's just cut it off. Okay. The burn time, honestly, I think it's really good. Okay. Now they say it's waterproof. Let's try it out. I got this can here. I'm going to pour some water into the can. And let's take another piece. Alright guys, sorry the camera has shut off. This is a new camera. So here's the piece. I'm going to dump it in. Okay. Mix it around. Okay. That should be good. Okay, soaking wet. So let's break it up. All right, let's just see if it will light like that. Is it lit? Yep, it's lit. I don't know if you can see it, but it is. It's lit. Let's just give it a feel, see if it builds up. I don't know if you guys can see it. There it goes. I mean, it's not a big flame, but it is wet. So, but it's lit. There it goes. And we got the wind blowing here too. There it goes. Alright. So that's pretty good. I mean, I dunked it in water, and look at the flame that we have. Pretty good burn time. Alright, let's turn this off. Look at that, that's pretty decent. Alright. Alright. And I turned it off. And there's some stuck to the wood here. So you can scrape it off and probably reuse it again. So that's pretty good. Okay. Let's move on to the Sasquatch. Okay. So let's do the same thing, just cut a little piece. Okay. Let's dunk it in water. Okay, let's mix it in, make sure it gets really wet. Okay. Now I'm going to take it back out. Now let's break up the fibers. Well, this one seems to like really fall apart easy. Which is a good thing, because the other one I was struggling to really tear it apart. So this comes apart easy. Now let's see if it takes a spark. Okay, not yet. Okay. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay, this thing, it's breaking up, and I don't know. There's one little solid piece here, and the rest is just fibers, but it's not taking a spark. I mean, it doesn't want to take. So yeah, and I don't know. Let's come back to this one. Now, let's open the Blackbeard Firestarter. I'm going to do the same thing, just take a little piece off the end. Okay, and we're going to just dunk it in water. Mix it around. Okay, take it back out. All right. I mean, you don't really have to break this up. I mean, everything's basically in chunks already. So let's try it like that. Okay, let me see. Something's smoking, so nope. Okay, nothing's going on. Let's try to break it up more. Alright guys, I'm back. It's been a few minutes. Okay. This feels wet. Obviously I put it in water, but it feels wet. Let me break it down more. Alright. Let's try this again. Alright, smoking. Let's see if it catches. Still smoking. No. Alright, let's just throw a ton of sparks on it. It's smoking, but it's not catching. I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? Guys, comment below. Let's try it again. smoking. But it's not catching. All right. Let's go back to the Sasquatch. It's been drying for a while. Let's see what happens. All right, this one caught. Yep. But I allowed it to dry for a few minutes. But straight out of water and trying to spark it, even I exposed the fibers, it didn't want to catch. But I allowed it to dry for a few minutes, air dry, and it caught. Okay, got good burn time. It's really windy out here today, so. Alright, so let me turn this off and go back to the Blackbeard and see. Okay, this still feels damp, but I mean, it's been a minute or so, so let's see if it catches. This does not want to catch. Wow. Huh. Maybe it needs to dry out more. Nope. Alright guys, let me try with a lighter. There you go. All right, that's pretty good burn time. Now let's turn it off. Still got some left. Still have a whole pile of this. All right. All right. This is what I think of it. If I had to put it in order, it would be the Fast Fire Stick, then the Sasquatch, then the Blackbeard. The Blackbeard didn't want to catch a spark from the ferro rod, but with the lighter, it lit right up, even when it was wet. So the Sasquatch didn't want to take the ferro rod either, but after I let it air dry for a few minutes, it took a spark from the ferro rod. Now the Fast Fire Stick took the ferro rod right away. When I took it out of the water, I just exposed the fibers and it took a spark. I didn't have to wait for it to dry or anything. So my whole take on this was for if you go hiking, if you're in a survival situation, even if you're hiking, if you're walking and you take a wrong turn, anything happens, you're automatically in a survival situation. The way I think, I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario. So I want to prepare for the worst case scenario. That's my whole way of thinking. So I want a fire starter that can light up in wet conditions, because that's the worst case scenario. I mean, you could get a fire when it's dry, when the temperature's beautiful outside, it's sunny, it's summertime. Yeah, you're not gonna have a hard time. But if it's rainy, then you're in trouble. If you don't have a fire starter, or I mean, you're not gonna try to feather some sticks in the rain. I mean, you can, but it's just gonna take more effort. And the scrapings you get off a wet piece of wood, you got to make sure that it doesn't get wet further. And it takes more effort, honestly, to get shavings. If you already have a fire starter that you can start in wet conditions, you just eliminated you trying to get that ignition source. Basically, you know, you're not there shaving. You know, you can skip that part. You already have a fire starter. And to me, that's anything that you're gonna have that edge over, that advantage, take it, especially in a survival situation. So I don't know, I kind of like the Fast Fire Stick. That's a win for me. I think I'm gonna buy more of that. I wasn't really impressed by the other two. I mean, the other two work, they're good, but the Fast Fire Stick, I think it's, to me, a little bit better than the other two. And also too, just remember, if you go out hiking and you get lost or anything, make sure before you go anywhere, camping, hiking, you let somebody know where you're at. Let them know, hey, listen, if I'm not home by 6 or 8 or whatever the time is, or the next day, that something's wrong. So that's the best way, honestly. I mean, to protect yourself, so you don't, I mean, you're guaranteed, somebody's going to be looking for you if anything was to happen. That's your best bet. But until then, you need at least a fire starter that's going to help you get that. If it rains, anything happens, you don't have to mess around, especially in the cold. You don't want to grab a knife and start trying to make little your hands might be frozen. Just get something that it's gonna help, it's gonna save you. It's gonna help just that much. All right, guys, comment below, let me know what you think. And I'm Ghost.